Just like that, we're back again with another update on XRP. The XRP army is showing tremendous amount of love. Thank you. Continue supporting. And of course, you guys know I'll bring you guys these updates on a daily basis. As we are going into Monday morning, let's discuss what we're looking at. So Meta Planet buys another 2,205 Bitcoin worth $240.8 million. They now hold 15,555 Bitcoin worth $1.69 billion. And look what this guy says. Big companies and whales are buying more and more, but there are still people thinking that crypto is a scam. Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the XRP holders. Let's realize what's happening. As far as, the 24-hour scale goes, we have seen, Sunday really play out on such a positive note. We saw, Bitcoin actually seeing the largest weekly candle close in the history of Bitcoin. And if we're looking across the board, the momentum is still carrying on. Yes, as we crossed midnight, we did see a little bit of a minor pullback over the last 1 hour, but I don't want you guys to focus on this. I want you guys to actually focus on the 24-hour time frame, because Bitcoin is looking great still, and that's what we want to be paying attention to. The price of XRP, $2.26. We're up about 1.3% in USD, still up about 0.6% in Bitcoin comparative. Market cap at 133.5 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume is approaching $2.3 billion. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto, and I cannot stress that enough. So only 0.26% of the world can now own one Bitcoin. Will you be the 0.26 or left behind? This really gives us a better understanding that how many people are priced out of BTC already. And as Bitcoin goes up, thrives towards the upside, it's only going to get more and more harder to obtain Bitcoin. But yet you're looking at Meta Planet buying a staggering $1.69 billion worth of BTC in such a short span of time. And of course, BlackRock is there, Fidelity is there, a lot of these other asset managers. What is this showing you guys? Come on, guys. Come on. We need to catch on this. What is this showing you? These guys are coming on full force. They want to hold as much Bitcoin as possible because they understand where this asset class is going. They've learned their lesson, and they are accumulating as much BTC as possible. Whether it's a bullish day, whether it's a bearish day, we are seeing accumulation happening, and we need to study this. And what we mean by studying is we need to look at other utility projects that are not yet priced out, the ones that bring real use case, because we're entering into the regulatory phase, and not every project is going to survive, as I've stated to you guys before. People talk about super cycle, people talk about how the 4-year cycle is no longer a thing. I still believe a lot of altcoins are still going to crash heavily when after the altcoin season is over, but what seems like it's never even occurring. Pretty much since the beginning of the year, we haven't really seen alts moving, but utility projects are going to be here to survive, especially the ones that are compliant. And of course, we know XRP is doing everything possible to meet all the guidelines when it comes to the regulators. You can see this for yourself. Look at this. XRP isn't joining the financial system, it's becoming the financial system. Regulated stablecoins, treasury rails, ISO messaging, and future pipelines are locking XRP into the banking core before the crowd even wakes up. Still think this is just another altcoin? Wake up. I totally agree. Of course, not financial advice. Obviously, time is going to tell. But if you are focusing on what Ripple is doing, the moves they're making, and who they're involved with, you could really understand that these guys, what they built, their entire platform is really starting to pay off. Of course, in the early stages when there was no regulatory, clarity in towards this digital asset space, it was quite unclear. But now, as we are shifting into that phase, all the puzzle pieces are coming together. People are starting to realize, hold on, now everything is starting to make sense. So this is what I try to tell you guys, that people overlook this, especially the comments that come in day-to-day basis. Well, the price of XRP is not exploding. Why are we not in the 23.6? Why are we not in an all-time high? But yet people will forget that we have accumulated, and it's by far one of the best holding assets pretty much since this breakout into the 23.6, and XRP has held its ground the best, and people still overlook that, which again is insane. But again, if you are paying attention, I'm sure you guys are already aware that that is a big deal on its own. So XRP takes over Upbit. Korea's top exchange is seeing massive XRP action. 24-hour volume about 149 million plus. So of course, Asia always has a lot of money flowing in, and I'm not surprised that XRP is on the list because of course, as I've stated, we're seeing bullish news after bullish news after bullish news. We talk about how Bitcoin is being obtained, Ethereum is being obtained as much as possible, but yet, people are already ignoring that there's other, publicly traded companies that are actually, raising funds to actually acquire XRP. What does this mean? Imagine when XRP ETF goes live, which in my opinion is inevitable. Once that happens, you're going to see major inflows unlocking, just major amounts of capital, that could flow into, XRP, which of course is going to be mega bullish. If you're looking at Ethereum, or, let's just actually take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum right now on a rough day, like let's just say 100 million per week, per day. Per day, $100 million worth of ETH inflows coming in. And if that is, consecutive in a monthly time frame, we're looking at billions of dollars worth of inflows coming in. And I'm, being nice with the 100 million. Sometimes it's 200 million, 300 million. And recently, if you've been focusing over the last month and a half, you're actually seeing ETH inflows much larger than we have seen in the past. And what is that telling you? That is telling you they are paying attention to Ethereum, and they're projecting Ethereum to go up, which of course means altcoin season could be very near. And you can see, Crypto Insight UK says Ethereum, XRP, ETH creating successive higher lows after creating multiple bullish divergence at the lows. It is now approaching a key level of the resistance. This is what we need to watch for a break. I've been saying this. I think XRP leads the next move. Let's see if it happens. I'm not saying it will be right now. I am saying that I'm looking in terms of price against dollar and resistance levels on this chart to make me more excited. And I agree 100% with it. With the way things are moving right now, I personally think, we're very, let's face it, we're very close to this $2.32. Everyone has their own ways of looking at the price, but I'm looking at this level, quite heavily. Once we broke out there, this is giving me a confirmation to get into the 23.6. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. And on that note, look at what this chart says. Path through altcoin season. Your phase one, Bitcoin. Flow of money moves into Bitcoin, causing price surges. Phase overlap, money flows into Ethereum, but it still struggles to keep up with Bitcoin. Ethereum goes back and forth with Bitcoin, start to outperforming it. That's happening right now. That is still happening right now, guys. Phase two, Ethereum. Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin, and we hear talks of the flipping, and we're starting to slowly but surely a lot of interest coming into ETH. Now, phase two, money is starting to trickle into large caps where we see large buy-ups happening. This is where XRP comes into play. And believe it or not, I personally think XRP has already been within this range, to be honest. And the way it has held its ground, it's already looking really, really good, showing us that people that are holding XRP, entities that are holding XRP, they don't want to sell their XRP. So this just gives me even more excitement as to what's yet to come. Phase three, large caps. Ethereum has been outperforming Bitcoin, and large caps are going parabolic. Regardless of the market cap, some altcoins with strong fundamentals are having pumps. Maybe smaller valuation, coins, that are layer one, layer twos. That's where this happened. Phase four, altcoin season. Large caps have gone full vertical, and we're seeing blow off tops. Mid caps, low caps, micro caps all tend to pump around the same time. Large caps have been outperforming Bitcoin and Ethereum. It seems every coin is going parabolic regardless of fundamentals. Memes are everywhere. Everyone is super excited, and you feel the mania in the air. And we did see this before. Phase one of the crypto market, we actually did see this happening. That was, I would say, Q4 of last year, beginning of this year. And I think we are entering the second phase of that sooner rather than later. And look at this, Franklin Templeton has now tokenized $800 million in assets across multiple blockchains. One of TradeFi's biggest players is going all in on real world asset tokenization. The future of finance is getting built on chain. And I could not agree more with other TradeFi, bigger names that are coming on board with the green light that we're seeing. I think we're just going to see more and more of this happening. And this is where RLUSD, the stablecoin, really gains traction, and XRP, a ledger, really becoming that one platform where a lot of these big entities can potentially come in. Franklin Templeton is not obviously diving into XRPL, but they are one of the one of the biggest asset managers globally that are actually filing for an XRP ETF. So that's something we need to keep in mind. But we can really start to see all these pieces coming together. But take a look at this, this dominance here. I kind of drew this line for you guys. You guys can see, the 65.11% is playing as a level of support for us, for quite some time. If we drop below this, I am projecting the 64.7, potentially even going down to the likes of 63.3% for the dominance, which again, if Bitcoin stays stagnant or even goes up, this could be the most bullish thing for altcoins. Bitcoin is pretty much on the verge of yet again breaking towards a new all-time high. Maybe at the time of you watching this update, Bitcoin's already pushing above 109. We'll see what happens. Bitcoin's looking amazing, but that's one thing I want you guys to keep in mind, the dominance. If dominance falls below that range, we could see some excitement, especially if Bitcoin ranges around this level. If you're looking at XRP holding really nicely around $2.27, yes, some people are saying, why is the price of XRP not going up? I want you guys to focus on, this accumulation pattern. Also, I want you guys to focus on, BTC and the dominance. So far, so good. Really, really like what I'm seeing here. I'll keep you guys updated. Of course, smash that like button, hit that red subscribe, and we'll see you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.